But this is like a broken model of demographic stereotypes, and these are made to make decisions for trillions of dollars. So, like, what industries do you think are doing this the wrong way right now?
I don't think there's an industry that's doing it the right way. Let me flip that question around, right? I mean, everything around us today, everything since you woke up this morning, everything in this room right now started its life in a boardroom somewhere with a bunch of probably middle-aged white guys sitting around and saying, okay, who are we building this thing for? How old are they? And then we make up assumptions and we go, well, if they're 18 to 24-year-olds, then they must like skateboards and they must like bright colors. And if they're 75-year-olds, let's give them some muted colors. And
no technology.
And no technology, no buttons and knobs for the 75-year-olds, right?
Just big, big ones.
Big knobs, big letters, all that kind of stuff. So we just have these stereotypes that we run off, and then we make those stereotypes, we use those to build ourselves little personas of who we're doing things for, and then we spend trillions of dollars based on these faulty, flawed, and it's inconceivable to me. We know in a common sense, just in our own daily life, nobody acts their age anymore.
So is this more, because I've had this conversation with my parents who are boomers a number of times, that I feel like the spread between what millennials find normal and boomers find normal is actually pretty small. There's probably a bigger difference, in my view, between them and their parents, right? I mean, my parents can use computers and smartphones. It's their parents to whom everything is amazing. So is it about like the technology we have now, or are you talking more about the way that we know we can understand personality types, right? Like, well, I am attracted to this because I think that leadership is great, or I'm more independent, those sorts of things.
Right. So in our Valuegraphics database, we've measured 380 different metrics, 40 of which are core human values that we took from the World Values Index, the Bhutan Gross Domestic Happiness Index, these proven social science tools. So it's about things like trust, authority, relationships, family, sex, money, all these kinds of things. So we have measurements for all 75,000 surveys in our database around these 380 different things. And for example, if you isolate baby boomers and say, how often do they agree on any of those 380 metrics? Baby boomers only agree with each other 13% of the time. How can we target a group of people who only agree with each other 13% of the time? Now, you mentioned technology. There will be people in every age category, in both gender categories, in any income bracket, who are super into technology and who are really adverse to technology. It has nothing to do with demographics. We're slicing the loaf of bread the wrong way. We need to be slicing the loaf of bread based on what we care about and what we think is important, what our values are, not our age and our income and our gender and those sorts of things.
And does that slice more along urban and rural lines or red and blue states?
No, it doesn't. There's really no difference whatsoever. What's interesting about the Valuegraphics database is it's what the statisticians refer to as a random stratified statistically representative sample of the population. I know. I had to memorize that. It took a long time. But it's fun to say once you get it down. Basically, it means we have an exact replica, a duplicate of the real population. And in that population, we can pull out anything about any audience for any product or service, and there's no variation based on standard demographic segments. It's all about what we care about and what we think is important, which is common sense.
The book is We Are All the Same Age Now. David Allison, thank you so much for coming in. I think we can all agree what we want to be like 28?